So it is seniors, and it is the second race of the meeting. Qualification heat 1, groups A and B, and your lineup is as follows. We've got Iljan Brunsils, currently in the title fight in the BNL karting series that recently had its second round at Marienburg, will start from pole position. Simon Sjogren, one of the surprises this morning, lines up alongside the Belgian on the front row. Then it's Mikkel Digelsen and Luna Blum, the complete row number 2. Sam Harrison from the UK is alongside Victor Poulsen on row number 3 from Denmark. Emily de Hoys and Axel Sani-Ala round out the top 8 positions, with Una Oksanen from Finland and Erik Bergstrand from Sweden completing the top 10. Then it's a trio of Brits in the form of Jason Lockwood in the 315, Charlie Turner in the 305, last year's British Super 1 Rotax champion, and Kai Hunter in the 395. Then we've got the Spanish Matador that I do always like to have a catch-up with. I haven't done so this weekend. Philip Vava from Spain. Robin Knudson will round out the top 15 ahead of Lewis Gilbert, the Dorey Diamond, with Persistence Motorsport. Had a good weekend in Marienburg last week for BNL himself, getting on the podium. He's in 16th. Alongside he'll have Mario Sidler and Ehad Turka behind, with Patrick Rundqvist in 19th, and alongside him will be Germany's Lukas Horstmann. Laszlo Zueva had a bit of a disaster in qualifying. We'll have Teresa Babikova alongside, and then looks like there's been a couple of non-compliances post-qualifying. Konrad Hugo Jul Christiansen, who was at the sharp end of the grid, and Mads Rees down at the last of the rows. 12 rows, 24 competitors, 10 minutes, plus an additional lap to truly get the Senior Max action underway here on Saturday afternoon here at the Azumring in Kristianstad. So, ladies and gentlemen, you need to sit down. You need to just keep your eyes peeled for what's going to happen over the next 11 minutes. They go into the tram lines. Brunsils and Sjogren on the front row. Do we go green? Looks like we have done. Brunsils gets a nice hole shot. Sjogren very quickly to follow in behind, as we are definitely having a bit of elbows out already, and it's nearly 3 abreast going into turn 3, down from about 11th or 12th position onwards. And they're swarming all over each other at the back part of the field, and someone's getting very sideways. That is trying to keep an eye on who that was. But in the meantime, Brunsils and Sjogren are leading the way. They have pulled away, it looks like, from Tigson, I believe. Yeah, that's the KMS Europe colours. Just behind is the Netherlands' very own Luna Blum. So Luna having a good opportunity to get some places made, but Luna is having to fight for it, because behind looks to be, is that Sam Harrison that's just gone up the inside to take 4th? That is the case. Bloom is now being swamped. So Sam Harrison up into 4th. Emily de Hoys, well, she's definitely made some moves up the order. Started down in 7th, now up into 5th position, past Luna Blum, who is falling a bit further into the clutches of the lower part of the top 10. But Brunsils and Sjogren are going to battle it out for victory here, as it's side by side. I tell you what, Mads Rees definitely in the wars here with Patrick Rundqvist. Someone sends it up the inside of Rees, but Rees is wise to it, and then someone goes round the outside of the Dane in the 399, or he stays there or thereabouts. But we come to complete lap number 2 here, 8 minutes and 22 seconds, plus an additional lap to go here in this first of 3 Senior Max qualifying heats here at Kristianstad. Iljan Brunsils is leading by about 5 or 6 kart lengths from Simon Sjogren from Sweden. Tigson, Harrison, now has been passed by Emily de Hoys. The Dutch lady driver is absolutely flying at the moment. That's a real good job from her. And I tell you what, she was nearly 0.4 of a second quicker than Sam Harrison, who she's just overtaken. So Harrison really now on the back foot, could come under pressure, maybe from Victor Poulsen, going into the infield part of the track, a little bit further down the order. Just keeping an eye on where... Now, Charlie Turner's got past Jason Lockwood for 9th position. So the 305 trying to make some work up the field. Kai Hunter's made up a place. Erik Bergstrand now down in 12th position. There's another positional change heading into the last sector of the track here at Kristianstad. And the lead between first and second last time around was just over 0.3. Sjogren has quite clearly closed that gap, and it's down to 0.308, and he was only 30 hundredths quicker, as I've just seen Axel Sani-Ala go very defensive in front of Jason Lockwood and that is for position. So Saniala in 8th, Lockwood, Bloom, Kai Hunter, Lewis Gilbert up is now ahead of Philip Vava. So Gilbert now up into 12th position. Victor Poulsen definitely trying to get a move on and motor up, sort of try and move forward. But I do have to say, the person that's really clawing into the opposition in front, Mikkel Tiggelsen might have to watch out, because Emily de Hoys just took over 2.5 tenths of a second, 0.251 to be precise. So de Hoys is on a flyer, looking to get some very good points here in the qualifying stages. But this turn 1 right-hand sweeper at Kristianstad is an absolutely brilliant corner. It's very much reminiscent of when the British Grand Prix used to use Cops as turn 1. They were going through it at around about 170 miles an hour. But there is a yellow flag off of turn number 3, and we've now got our first penalty issued. Konrad Hugo Jul Christensen has had a 5-second time penalty thrown in the general direction of the 341 for unsportsmanlike driving. So Christensen at the moment is currently sitting in 14th, and that will put Christensen all the way down to 24th. We have got someone not taking any further participation in this race. I'm just going to keep an eye. No! That's Ilian Brunsils. That is Brunsils. He is not taking any further part in this race. That is Ilian Brunsils out on lap number 5 here at Kristianstad. That's a real disaster. So Sjogren, as it goes 3 wide, and I've just seen that, now what's that? Patrick Rundqvist going up the inside of Laszlo Zueva and Mario Sidler at the same time. That was definitely a brave move from the KR Sport driver in the 358. So we've had 2 retirements already. Axel Sarniala from Finland out. Ilian Brunsils, mechanical problems, forced the Belgian out just then off of turn 3. That's a real shame for the 308. But now this means that Simon Sjogren has a distinct advantage, a clear advantage, so now has a chance to just put the pedal down and just go and get away from everybody. But I tell you what, look at the battle in second position. We have Mikkel Tiggelsen from Denmark and Emily de Hoys now are going to be battling for what is second position. A little bit further back, I've just seen Philip Vava run on the tail of Lewis Gilbert. The pair are now into 8th and 9th respectively, and they've just got past Jason Lockwood, who's rounding out the top 10. Now I'm just seeing how quick Emily de Hoys is in comparison. But I tell you what, Charlie Turner is flying. The Brit in the 305 is in 4th position and closing. Not just that, Victor Poulsen is also closing. Now when you look at the times we've got here, I've just been having a look at the times. Charlie Turner was just over 7.5 tenths adrift from Emily de Hoys. Now de Hoys is trying to fight against Tiggelsen for second position. But while she's been trying to do that, Charlie Turner has just been cutting away at the gap in front. It's going to be half of 7.5 tenths or so. 0.296. So Charlie Turner has just put in a 53.290, but the driver that's really on the move. Oh, hats off to the Doroi Diamond, Lewis Gilbert, the 329. He's just put in the fastest lap of this race, a 53.162. Now Charlie Turner is really closing the gap on Emily de Hoys. The Dutch driver is going to have to watch out for the Brit very, very shortly indeed. We've still got 3 minutes and 13 seconds, plus an additional lap left to go into this first qualifying heat, Groups A and B for Senior Max. So Sjogren has a gap of 1.6 seconds between himself and Mikkel Tiggelsen from Denmark. But I have to say, I don't think Tiggelsen will be keeping a hold of that second position. It's not a case of if, it's a case of when the Dane is going to be passed. But who is it going to be? Is it going to be Emily de Hoys? Is it going to be Charlie Turner? And just behind them is the 311 of Victor Poulsen. So the slowest out of the drivers from second to fifth was Tiggelsen with a 53.332. Emily de Hoys a 53.246. But Charlie Turner was the quickest. He did a 53.170. But the fastest lap of this race has now gone to Konrad Hugo Jul Christensen. Started 23rd. Now up into 11th position. Taking a leaf out of Leighton Forey's book, I would imagine. But it's definitely getting closer now because the change has happened. The change has happened. It looks like Tiggelson is not in second. Emily de Hoys is. Charlie Turner in third. Victor Poulsen in fourth place. So the day now having to try and fight back. The time is fast running out. So de Hoys and Charlie Turner, I think, are going to try and mount an offensive. And they were pretty comparable on pace. De Hoys did a 53.511. And then Charlie Turner a 53.529. So now the battle is between them for second position. A little bit further back in sixth place is Sam Harrison. And he has got Kai Hunter and also Lewis Gilbert. Gilbert's gone under 53 seconds. 52.969. So he's got Kai Hunter up in front. And just in front of that is Samuel Harrison. 1 minute and 18 plus an additional lap to go. Sjogren has got a comfortable lead of 1.5 seconds. And I'm just keeping an eye on Charlie Turner at the minute. And then I'm also looking at the battle with Sam Harrison, Kai Hunter, Lewis Gilbert, and also Vava is closing on them too. He did a 53.403, so lost out 0.3 to his detriment on the last tour, the previous tour. So Konrad Hugo Jul Kristianstad has a 5-second penalty post-race. So he's 5.4 seconds off the leader. That will drop him down to around about 18th or 19th position. So probably between Una Oksanen and Patrick Rundqvist. So that's going to be very interesting to find out how much pace he has in the RS competition kart. But Emily de Hoys now has Charlie Turner breathing down the back of her race suit saying, right, I've now got a chance. We've got 20 odd seconds on the clock remaining. Turner will have this couple of corners plus an additional 2 laps if the leader crosses the start line, which Sjogren is going to do now. 8 seconds on the clock. And Turner's gone for the move up the inside of Emily de Hoys into turn 1. Makes it stick through the apex. Great job by Charlie Turner. That's a really good job from the Brit. So gets past Emily de Hoys, but I tell you what, Emily de Hoys will be absolutely ecstatic with where she'll finish very, very shortly. But I tell you what, she's definitely not given up quite yet on second position. She's keeping in proximity with Charlie Turner. And behind the Victor Poulsen, Mikkel Tiggelson definitely want to try and catch up to him. And I don't think that's going to happen quite soon enough. But then we have a few changes. Looks like Sam Harrison is now behind both Kai Hunter and Lewis Gilbert. And now also Spain's Philip Vava. So the Brit is dropping to around about 9th position as things stand. So final lap it is for Simon Sjogren on home soil. But I tell you what, the gap has been absolutely decimated. Charlie Turner is not happy with second. He wants to go for the win. It was 5.588 of a second between first and second position. Sjogren's really got to be very, very careful because we're about half a lap away for having our first winner in Senior Max this weekend. And I tell you what, Charlie Turner is also bringing along Emily de Hoys. But is it going to be enough for Simon Sjogren to hang on this last lap? We're going to get to the last 3 or 4 corners. Sjogren needs to power away and hope that Charlie Turner makes a mistake. But the 2018 British Rotax champion will not do so. It could be a drag race to the finish here. Turner's positioning himself quite diligently here, but he's not going to do it. Sjogren takes the win on home soil by 0.277 seconds ahead of Charlie Turner. What a drive from the Brit. And he started... Where did Charlie Turner start? I'm trying to have a look here. 12th position to second. Emily de Hoys started 7th, finished in 3rd with Victor Poulsen and Mikkel Tiggelson, making it 2 Danes in the top 5. Of course, we had the disaster for Ilian Brunsils and Axel Sarniala, unfortunately not making the end of this race. Brunsils parking it on the outside of turn 3 on lap 5, with Axel Sarniala coming to a halt a lap later on lap number 6. But Simon Sjogren wins in Senior Max on home soil here in Kristianstad from Charlie Turner by 0.277 of a second. Great job by the Netherlands' very own Emily de Hoys from JJ Racing on the Xpree chassis. The 373 takes 3rd place ahead of Victor Poulsen, with Mikkel Tiggelson from KMS Europe rounding out the top 5. Then it's the couple of Brits. Kai Hunter and Lewis Gilbert made some great moves through the field. Hunter starting on 13th position, Gilbert starting on 16th position. They finished in 6th and 7th respectively, ahead of Spain's Philip Vava, with Samuel Harrison and Conrad Hugo Juhl Christensen rounding out the top 10. But obviously there has been a penalty issued, so Christensen drops to 15th position. That means that Robin Knutsson inherits 10th ahead of Jason Lockwood. Ehad Turka Luna Blum, who started on 4th position, was fighting at the front and ended up 13th ahead of Mads Rees. Great job from that young Dane on the 399, ending up 14th ahead of Christensen. Lukas Horsman, Teresa Babikova, Una Oksanen, Patrick Grunquist, Laszlo Zueva, Mario Sidler and Erik Bergstrand to round out the 22 that finished, with Axel Saniala and Ilian Brunstils unfortunately not completing the race.